they haven't found his body. He's not in any of the Israeli hospitals, and his phone was traced to Gaza. So that leads us to believe that he is now being held hostage there. So on the morning of Saturday the 7th, the morning of the attack, the sirens started blowing off in the kibbuz where my cousin lives, which is right by the Gaza border. And this is a drill they're used to. Everybody ran in the bomb shelters. And then at some point, people heard that there was rumors or there was word that there were infiltrators coming into the kibbutz. My cousin went out of his house to basically defend his home. And we know he confronted some of the terrorists. He was joined by his brother-in-law. And at about 8 or 8:30 in the morning, that was the last time that his wife had heard from him. Tal is a part of my mother's family. They all live in this kibbutz called Nir-Ицхак. What nobody was prepared for is that these people were going to go into the houses and actually try to pull people out of the bomb shelters. So two of my uncles, people in their 60s, really had to fight the terrorists from the inside, from being in the bomb shelters, as they were trying to force the doors open. And they were just hanging on for the handle for their lives. Seeing the release of the hostages was really a ray of light in this awful situation. First of all, it shows that there is someone to talk to. There is negotiation going on. Hamas is willing to compromise, and we have to push. It's a little crack in the door, and now we have to push and open it, and open the door completely and get everybody back to Israel. It was very encouraging to hear that the hostages were treated well. However, I will say, she was an elderly woman and she saw only about 25 of the other hostages. She might have been treated well because she was elderly, but who knows? Maybe the younger people are going through a different thing. Maybe, the worst is possible. Maybe the younger women are being raped every day. Maybe the men are getting tortured every day. Who knows? Who knows? And I think that every day that passes still poses a significant threat to these people's lives, especially when Israel keeps bombing Gaza and we don't know where they are. Hamas announced that 50 of the hostages have been killed by Israeli bombs. Is it true? I don't know. Once I realized the magnitude of the attack on Israel, it was very, very clear that it was out of hand. The scope of the attack, the Hamas attack, was unclear. We didn't know how many people went into Israel. We didn't know what was going on. The IDF responded very slowly, and it felt to us that it would be a great risk to stay in Israel. We live where I live. It's about 15 minutes from the border with the West Bank. What I think must happen as soon as this war is over, that people anywhere in the world who care about this conflict would make their governments accountable, is just this repeated lunacy where all the funds and all the means go into the hands of Hamas. They don't have to be accountable for how they use these funds. At the same time, the civilians of Gaza, the residents of Gaza, are the ones that don't have access to food and water and electricity and commodities that they need and freedom of movement. So a Gazan civilian has two options if they want to thrive and secure a future for their family. Either join Hamas or stay, poor and deprived. As long as we don't manage to change the status quo and create a situation where a Gazan civilian has an alternative for a good future that does not include supporting Hamas, then we are perpetuating this situation.